In this particular video, I want to show you the components of the free members area for each prospect. And a prospect is going to find themselves here after completing the actual fields at the bottom of the landing page, going through the confirmation page, and they're going to be kicked into their membership page, which is personalized in the upper right-hand corner. And they will also receive a system email that will include their username and password so that they can come back and re-access this site after they log out. Now, the page consists of some really unique pieces that are all designed to provide some basic information, to also create a fear of loss, a sense of urgency, and really trying to get the prospect to take some degree of action. And it does it without the new retailer having to know or have the skill set to make all that happen. So it's a kind of a really a way of prepping the actual prospect to do some things that we most normally could not get our new retailers to do immediately. And so let's talk about what's inside this site that kind of helps do all that for us and really makes it easy for the prospect to be filtered through and really kind of identify themselves as being someone who may be a customer, a distributor, or maybe they're not interested and maybe they could, from that point, give us a referral. So we always want to get something out of the prospect, and this system will help filter for us. And of course, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that this is where each of the retailers who has their own power line system can put their own photograph of themselves. The box below is actually a scrolling box with all of the individuals who are entering into the system, showing a lot of activity with the number of actual free prospects that have come in behind the specific prospect. So when they come back into this members area, they can actually see how many prospects are behind them, and that builds that sense of urgency. They also get an email that identifies that as well. So that's kind of building that fear of loss and sense of urgency piece. And of course, then we provide below some fundamental pieces. We don't go into a lot of detail about our company because we want to do that in the 5 to 10 minute desktop review that our retailer would do with the prospect, highlighting the key points of our business. Now, that's not necessarily a piece that's designed just to give information. Of course, we want to answer some basic questions that the prospect would have, but it's more about building a level of trust and relationship. And that's what we're trying to do with this whole piece, is to move the prospects through the system, let them identify themselves, and then have our retailer ultimately be able to kind of break bread with them over the join.me platform and share with them really some of the key points. Now, in the meantime, what happens in the center part of the page is the whole process of creating that sense of urgency and giving the information that will be important for a new prospect to have as it relates to going ahead and upgrading into our retailer's business. And it starts with this video, and then we break it into 3 steps. We talk about the company and the products. And in this case, it's really talking more about having a business of your own, being your own boss, the home-based business industry. It doesn't go into a lot of detail, and we're going to leave it there. The second step goes into covering the actual platform itself that we're using, kind of shares with them that we have a system and that systems build wealth. People don't, and it encourages them to know that anybody can build a business if they got the right tools. And then, of course, it breaks down a little bit more in detail what the actual platform can do for them as a tool to help them build their business, and that we're here to help them all the way. So now we basically have talked about having your own business, having your own time, and we've got a system. And then, of course, then it goes back into the whole idea of locking in your position. Now, the video that talks about the system kind of breaks down exactly what's happening there, but in the meantime, it's also building on that fear of loss that you need to go ahead and upgrade right now, and go to the bottom of the page and then click the link that will allow you to join the team. And the individual retailer would have their own website for their company embedded in that link, so it would pop up where the prospect could immediately sign up if they'd like to, or actually even make a purchase if they wanted to be a customer. So these are all very important pieces. And then, of course, at the bottom of the page, there's also some basic information about how to get a hold of each of the retailers. And of course, the retailer is going to reach out to this particular prospect for that 5-minute prospecting overview.